This is Ashton Marcus, and I'm on location at Stages Theater for the presentation of The Book of Liz. Hi, I'm Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and you're?
Christopher Spencer. I'm the director of The Book of Liz.
The artistic director chose this for you. You didn't choose yourself?
I submitted it.
Oh.
Yeah, when I submitted myself as a director for a slot, this was one of the pieces that I had submitted as a possibility, and they chose to do this, and they asked me to direct it.
Why did you choose this play?
Well, I'm a big fan of both Amy Sedaris and David Sedaris. I think that they're just left of center of the norm for me. That they push the norm a little bit, but they're still relatable. And so I've been a huge fan of both of all of his books, all of his writings, and of her. Specifically, her TV show, Strangers with Candy. I've just been a long-time fan of both. And for the life of me, I don't know why no one has produced this piece down in Orange County before. It seems ideal.
What were some of the themes that we're going through?
Well, I think the big thing is having acceptance of yourself, accepting yourself, flaws and all. And hopefully the people that are around you will embrace you as you are, and if not, you have to move on, or make them change their perspective, make them change their point of view of all that encompasses you, your flaws, your foibles, your successes, the strong and the not so strong points of you. And I think that's really the main theme is acceptance of self, acceptance of others.
What do you look for in casting, when you're casting?
Well, good comic timing. Also the ability to play various characters and be able to delineate one character from the other because, as you know, everyone plays multiple characters in this show. So versatility, timing, and also being able to maybe make a choice that might seem a little odd, but works for this material. Not going with the typical choices.
Do you fancy yourself a comedic director or more of a dramatic director?
Well, I haven't had that much experience directing, and this is only maybe my fifth time. I'm an actor, and it actually has been several years since I've directed. I tend to gravitate more toward comedic material, comedic writers. That's just, as an actor, that's my preference, but also as a director, I guess that would be the thing that I look for, is something that's comedic, but also has some heart, and that's what I feel the show has. There is that heart that's at the center of it.
What do you look for in comedies? It's like, in dramas at least you can look for like existentialism, you can look for like the classics, you can look for something that's been written 100 years and everyone's just seen it by now. But for comedy, what do you look for in comedy? What are the points that you look for?
Well, something that hasn't been done, or if it has been done, it's been done very rarely, like this piece. Something that's maybe a little quirky, a little... something that's maybe a little not your standard fare. I mean, not to knock things like The Odd Couple or some other Neil Simon piece, but I think we've seen that quite a few times in Orange County, maybe more times than we really should see those pieces. And I like to explore other things that haven't been presented to the Orange County audiences. Something that's maybe little hidden gems that are a little quirky, a little unusual, instead of the typical fare.
All right, well, thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you.
I'm Ashton Marcus with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and you're?
Janelle Smith. I've been an actor for 17 years. I'm an alum of Cal State Fullerton Theater Department, and I also do hair in Fountain Valley and wigs for different community theaters. I played Liz Donderstock. Liz is a sweaty Amish cheese ball maker, and she's trying to discover herself and has to go out into the real world to actually find herself, and then she comes back home to to rediscover how much she loves her roots.
Yeah, this was actually a comedy, but you seem to be playing more of a straight man type character.
Yes, I'm definitely the straight man in the role. I'm definitely the straight man in the play. Everyone else is sort of the crazy, the crazies.
Do you find that easier or harder?
Oh, it's so much harder. I feel it's so much harder because my castmates are so funny that it's hard to not laugh when I'm on stage.
So do you prefer comedy or drama?
Oh, I prefer comedy, although I enjoy drama from time to time. I feel most comfortable in my comedy roles. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've asked this question to your other castmates. How do you learn comedy? I mean, do you go to comedy college? Do you go to clown college or something like that?
Yeah, I think a lot of it is just natural, timing. But there are certain rules, and I mean, I've learned a lot from my mentors at Cal State Fullerton, at Orange Coast College. Yeah.
I hear for a lot of drama players that basically they go by the script, whatever the right. For comedy, is that necessary to go by the script, or do you ad lib, or do you have to make your timing work?
David Sedaris and Amy Sedaris are geniuses. I like to stick to the script because they are such great writers, but I think timing is a lot of it. So best case scenario, integrate the actual words of the play with physicality and timing.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Do you have any advice for, say, people who want to be comedic? Maybe they're not funny, or any advice you can give them?
I would say take stand-up classes. I would say that, but I never have personally, and I think I need to, start looking at that because it seems invaluable to just be able to ad-lib and just be present on stage.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you.
My name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI, 88.9 FM in Irvine. You are?
I'm Matt Donoto.
And
I'm an actor, writer. I wrote and performed in the popular web series Harry Potter and the 10 Years Later. And I play Reverend Tollhouse, Yvonne, and Duncan Trask in the Stages theater production of The Book of Liz.
Okay. So which one was your favorite character?
I think Yvonne. He's the loudest, and he has a fun Cockney accent, even though he's Ukrainian.
Okay. So do you prefer this type of work? Do you prefer comedy, or would you rather do drama or musicals?
Definitely comedy is the thing that I enjoy most and do most often. I like doing musicals, but usually just comedic musicals. Like I got to perform in Avenue Q a couple years ago, which is really fun. And I'm going to be in the 25th Annual Putnam County Spelling Bee next. So I like mostly comedy, though.
Yeah, how do you learn comedy? I mean, do you go to college for comedy, or is it something you're born with?
It is something that you grow with. So if the people around you are funny, you kind of learn how to do that. And if you have nothing else to say, like I did in school often, you just say jokes. And that's how you learn to be funny.
Yeah. Do you need any timing? Do you have to work on your timing or anything like that?
Absolutely. I mean, not just in terms of when is the funniest time to say things, but in the, sort of the timbre of your voice and the attitude with which you say it. I think it's easier for people to move from drama after they know how to do comedy, because once you have the timing of comedy down, you kind of know how to get a reaction, which is kind of what drama is too, but it's just a serious reaction.
And you're also a writer, correct?
Correct.
Do you write comedies? And if you do, how do you write funny?
I don't know. You just sort of I watch something in my head, and if it's funny there, I just write down whatever is happening there, and amazingly, it often works.
Does it ever not work? And what's that like?
Well, luckily, I tend not to do things that are one person, so I have a support system around me that I can bounce things off of, and usually I work with funny people, so if something doesn't work for me, they can help me fix it.
Okay. Well, actually, I enjoyed your performance. Thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Hi, I'm Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI, 88.9 FM in Irvine, and you?
I'm Ryan Sjogren. I grew up in Kansas and Nashville, Tennessee, and I studied theater in New York. Lived there for a few years. I've been in LA for about 7 years now, and just popping around doing whatever I can do to find work.
Okay. Do you prefer comedy, or do you rather do dramas or straight plays?
I do whatever. I started out doing a lot of dramas, and I found it very cathartic, but ultimately kind of draining. And comedy is a little bit more fun. It's a little more lively. I think I prefer to do comedies, but I like, it's good to kind of switch back and forth because then you get little happy face, little sad face.
Which was your favorite character that you played?
I like playing Donnie probably the most because he's a really brash, kind of out there character, and you can kind of goof around with it, and he can't go too far, so that's fun to do.
You also did a lot of voices, a lot of characters. I mean, did that come naturally, or did you get that from your dramatic experiences?
I've always kind of done that. That's kind of why I went into drama in the first place, because as a kid, always doing voices and characters and imitating stuff from television. So, training definitely helps you hone those things. But yeah, anytime you have an opportunity to play a lot of different characters, it's super fun because you can, really put on a lot of different hats.
I've always wondered about comedy. How do you learn to be comedic? Do you have to go to college? Do you learn to be comedic, or are you just always born this way?
Some people say you can't learn comedy. You can hone. We were actually talking about this backstage. We were talking about improv because they do improv here at this theater, and some of the other actors I don't like improv. And I was like, improv is great. And they're like, you can't really teach that. But you can. You can teach how to hone certain skills and what makes a scene funny or what makes a play funny. Timing and comedic instincts are much, much harder to teach. Usually people just have those, or they, started out as a funny kid and developed them over the years, being funny around people. I think it probably, you got to have an innate comedy sense and then build up on it.
Yeah, but do you have to do any drills, like, your mother's so fat drills or anything like that?
I don't, but yeah, you could. That's like an improv game, Sometimes you play that. That's like an exact game is you play like your mom is so fat, or So yeah, you do that. You get quicker. You can really work on sharpening your comedy skills with just games like that.
Any advice you can have to the viewers of how to become a better comedian?
Get in an improv, troupe, or go to a class and just try it out. That's what I did in New York with UCB, and I know they have some local improvs here in Fullerton. Check it out and see what happens. It can be just, even if you're not interested in being a comedian, it can just be fun, and it can be a way to spend an evening making each other laugh.
All right. Well, thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and you're?
I'm Terry Mowry. I'm originally from Orange County. I went to grad school at the American Conservatory Theater in San Francisco. Lived in New York, lived in Portland, lived in Alaska, lived all over the world, but been back here for about the past 10 years doing local theater with hunger artists and stages and different places, Monkey Wrench, Collective, and stuff. Just finished, it's been about 2 years since I've done anything, so last time I finished doing a tour of my own one-woman show. Is that a good enough bio?
Yeah. So basically, which one was your favorite character of the ones that you did today?
So much pressure. I would say it's a toss-up. It's a toss-up between Butterworth, Oksana, and Foxley. I mean, it's kind of fun to be able to come in at the end with that last character, but they're all fun. It's all a blast.
So why were they your favorite characters?
I think because I just got to go so extreme with them, but not quite into cartoon land, so you really got to push the envelope with what they were, and they're just so wildly different.
Do you prefer comedy or drama?
I do both, actually. I haven't done straight, kind of slapsticky, silly comedy in a long time, so this is kind of a fun departure. Was doing a lot of kind of really hard, kind of cutting edge, biting kind of things, so it's fun just to be silly once in a while.
Actually, you're a very good comedian, though.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Hopefully it comes out, yeah. Thanks.
Yeah, well, I noticed maybe you were just cranking up your acting a little bit to the overacting point, but I think it actually worked.
Oh, good. Well, I mean, and it's, you kind of, there's a fine line you push it up to, but you don't, that's what I mean, you don't go over into making it a cartoon, so it's kind of like a believable person, because, I mean, we've seen all these kinds of people out in life before, too, so.
Okay. Well, I enjoyed your performance.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you.
The Book of Liz will be playing at Stages Theater from March 21st to April 18th. For more information, go to www.stagesoc.org or search for AMB Theater on Facebook.